I want you to understand that art is about ideas. And there's different ways of approaching it and different ways of doing things. And there's been all kinds of art movements. I want you to understand where some of the things that you're seeing have come from. They start out as ideas. And that's the part that's most interesting to me. And when we look at artwork, we see people who are mimicking styles or mimicking things that people have done before without fully understanding where those ideas or things come from. So we're going to be moving into surrealism, and I want you to understand a little bit about that going forward. So with that said, go ahead. It's a short video, just a quick background on surrealism.
Think surrealism, and you may think of visual artists like Salvador Dali or René Magritte. But the movement actually began in literature in 1924 through the poet André Breton. Influenced by the writings of Sigmund Freud, surrealists saw the subconscious as the means of revolution and sought nothing less than to change the world. Surrealism rose from the ashes of Dali. Like Dali, it was an avant-garde movement reacting against the corrupt, hypocritical society responsible for sending millions to their death in the First World War. Both sought to shock the establishment and shared a distrust of logic and a love of the absurd. Surrealism was also influenced by the ideas of symbolism. Symbolist artists such as Gustave Moreau were seen by Breton as precursors of the surrealist movement. Surrealist artists sought to liberate the subconscious mind in their art. Some, like Salvador Dali, did this through depiction of dreamlike images rendered in precise detail. Other artists, like Miro, explored automatism, the means of creating expressive images without engaging the rational mind. If a technique celebrated the serendipitous or the random, then surrealists embraced it. George Hugenay used decalcomania to produce this work. Paper is painted, stuck together, then pulled apart to reveal images that can be read or deciphered in many different ways. The element of chance was important to surrealist artists. Surrealism started in Paris, but quickly spread throughout the globe. In 1936, the International Surrealist Exhibition was held in London. Breton and Dali gave lectures there. Dali in a deep-sea diver suit, from which he had to be rescued when it became clear he couldn't breathe. Surrealism thrived elsewhere in Europe too, particularly Belgium and Czechoslovakia. Toyen was a Czech surrealist, born Maria Chaminova. The name Toyen was adopted in early adulthood. Toyen identified using the Czech language's masculine form and dressed in men's working clothes. This exploration of gender has made Toyen a cult figure. This work, The Message of the Forest, depicts a huge blue bird against a dark, mysterious, wooded background. It embodies a recurring theme in their work: nature's power over humanity. This world is barren, dreamlike, and inhabited by lone girls, fragmented female figures, and birds. It is bizarre, even sinister, and its discussion of dreams and nightmares suggests intense anxiety. As the Second World War ravaged Europe, many surrealists fled across the Atlantic. Some found a new spiritual home in Mexico, and others settled in America, where they inspired a new generation of artists. Abstract expressionists such as Jackson Pollock were inspired by the surrealists' approach to automatism and the idea that art should come from the unconscious mind. Other artists have found inspiration in dreamlike imagery and unexpected juxtapositions of surrealism. The photographer Francesca Whitman was a keen student of surrealism. In her photographs, she included props with clear surrealist associations, like the mirror. But was the mirror a device of surrealism? Or was surrealism the mirror, one helping us see the world with fresh eyes?
Okay, So that is a little bit about surrealism. I'd like you to keep in mind this idea of playfulness, the idea of absurdity, yeah, things outside of how you would normally see them, and to consider that, and to consider what they mean, how they have meanings, dreamlike passages, you know, and start to consider how those might fit into your work as you go forward, especially with these next assignments and things like that. So I think that is it for me for today. Does anybody have any questions before I turn off the recording?